now joins us, and Joe, you can identify with what they are talking about here, because you haven't just seen one UFO. How many UFOs have you seen?
Yes, I saw a great UFO in Brazil years ago, and it was very clear it was a UFO, because it just rose up and zoomed off at speeds that were unbelievable. And since then, I've been obsessed with all things alien and UFO.
So you wouldn't take much persuasion to believe there is something out there?
No, for sure there is something out there, because we cannot possibly be the only beings on a big planet. Well, not that big a planet. We can't be the only beings here out of trillions and trillions of stars. It would be really sad if we were the only ones. But there's definitely other lives on other planets. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
What sort of reaction do you get from people when you say that you've been obsessed all this time? And I know you were with Ronnie at that time in Brazil, Ronnie Wood from Rolling Stones, when you saw those UFOs. But do you get people like me, who is a bit of a sort of alien skeptic, laughing at you? And if you do, does it make you happy that these US intelligence officials are now taking this a bit more seriously?
It's not that they're taking it a bit more seriously. They're being allowed to speak. That's the difference.
Yeah, that is the difference, Eamon. They've been allowed to speak. And I think this has been coming for a long time. And the UFO industry, or whatever you might call it, the UFO people have been pushing for this for so long. I mean, years ago, everybody used to look at me and say, yeah, right, Joe, what were you drinking that night? But I was packing the kids' bags to go, and Ronnie said, there's something weird out there. And I went out, and, it was, I'd never seen anything like it. It was just so amazing. But now, these days, people are much more accepting of it. And I think people you just got to look up at the stars and say, we cannot possibly be here alone. And there'll be advanced technologies way beyond our wildest imagination. And there'll be civilizations that's just starting out. There has to be. By the law of averages, there has to be.
Yeah, so I think the thing about this is we're now getting, we've got Scott Bray. Mr. Scott Bray is the Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence, and he revealed they had recorded around 400 UFO sightings in total. They could only explain one of 144 sightings. I think the story about all of this, Joe, is that it is fashionable to mock and laugh at somebody like you, but now you've got these top people in the Pentagon saying that for years we haven't been allowed to speak. And when you ever watch any documentaries or read up on the extent the authorities, including our own, have gone to cover this up, because the fear is that everybody will run to the hills, they'll all panic, so they keep the truth, or what is supposed to be the truth, from us. So do you think, we have had close contact? Do you think we have made contact?
Yes, I'm sure we have. And I think what they're letting out now is just a little bit of what they really, really have. They must have so much information, and they must have so many encounters. They've been doing reverse technology on crafts that have crashed for years and years, since 1947. So they know all this. They're just letting us have a little bit, just a little taster to keep us all happy. But there's a lot more than we can imagine.